On this week's show, Fright Fest Film Festival will frighten you, Rania, the robber's daughter, will steal from you, and good omens will tickle you. Hello and welcome to the Fancy News Show from the Bottled Imp. My name is Ken Boyter and this is your weekly fix of fantasy goodness. We start with sad news, unfortunately. The award-winning John Hurt has died, aged 77. The Bafta-winning star has been treated for pancreatic cancer in 2015 and was given the all clear, but sadly he died last week. Hurt had an amazing acting career spanning over 50 years with over 120 stage, TV and film appearances, and he won countless awards in that time. From a fancy point of view though, Hurt was involved with some of the best fancy films and TV shows ever made. Films such as the 1978 animated version of Lord of the Rings, where he was the voice of Aragorn. He also was the voice of the Horned King in Disney's The Black Cauldron, and he was also obviously in the Harry Potter series as Garrick Ollivander, who sells the wand to Harry. And probably my personal favourite, he was Jim Henson's The Storyteller. He was the main title in that TV show. And then films that did skirt onto fantasy were Alien, The Elephant Man, 1984, and of course he was the War Doctor in Doctor Who. And as I say, my fondest memories was watching John Hurt as the storyteller. When I was a little kid, I was watching it, and it's such a beautiful television show. He brought warmth and charisma and charm, and he had a little twinkle in his eye. And he was also mysterious. He was the perfect storyteller. Obviously, our thoughts and best wishes are with his family and friends. Peter Capaldi is to leave the hit sci-fi show Doctor Who after the next series. The 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, has announced live on BBC Radio 2 that he will step down as the ancient time traveller at the end of the third series, and this year, well, his third series I should say, and his last episode will be this year's Christmas special. Also leaving is Stephen Moffat, who is the show's head writer and executive producer. In an official announcement, Moffat referred to his time on Doctor Who as the best job I ever had. And obviously there's going to be speculation. It's going to be rife about who will play the 13th Doctor. I'm looking forward to that rumour. Anyway, MystiCon is a guest of honour and cosplay convention and is returning for its 7th year. This convention celebrates all things sci-fi, fantasy and horror. Special guests attending for you to have a photo with and to buy some of their merchandise include Sherilyn Fenn, Tony Todd, David Webber, Jason Carter and Nathan Davis. They are also holding 2 cosplay competitions, the Hallway Costume Contest and the MystiCon Masquerade. That's how you pronounce it, Masquerade? Masquerade. I never know. Hey, let's call the whole thing off. Anyway, all the fun takes place on the 24th to 26th of February at the Holiday Inn Tanglewood Hotel in Roanoke in Virginia, the USA. And obviously anyone who lives there can write in and correct me on my pronunciation. You can find out more by visiting www.mysticon/va.com, and obviously we'll be putting those links in the description. Bolton Comic-Con is celebrating pop culture in its various forms. The focus on this event is for fun and inclusive day out for all the family. Attractions include celebrity guests from TV, film and the comic industry, replica cars from TV shows and movies, and large display sections helping you to be part of the action. I'm not quite sure what that means. Maybe they're setting up little scenes from films and TV so you can have your photograph taken. It doesn't really say on their website. Anyway, guests from TV and film include Brian Wheeler, Peter McCarrion, Ross O'Hennessy, and from the comic book world, it's Andy Fairhurst and Mike Garley. There's going to be lots of merchants selling stuff as well, as you can imagine, and of course there's going to be some authors that you can meet as well. There will also be a retro gaming area of free consoles and arcade machines. So hopefully, if you're old enough to remember some of the older games, You're going to love that. It all takes place on just one day. That's Saturday the 18th of February at the MystiCon Stadium in Bolton in the UK. To buy your ticket, you can simply go to their website, which is northwestcomiccons.co.uk. Fright Fest is an international fantasy and horror film festival from the Horror Channel. The 3-day mini film festival is part of the Glasgow Film Festival and will be showing 14 films over the 3 days. Some of the films are Phantasm Remastered, The Warrior's Gate, Shin Godzilla and Bloodlands. And it all takes place between the 23rd and the 25th of February at the Glasgow Film Theatre in Glasgow, Scotland. And you can see a full list of the films that they're going to be showing and to buy your tickets at frightfest.co.uk. The first biannual dedicated Whitby Steampunk weekend event will be taking place on the 4th and 5th of February. There's not that many details on their website, unfortunately, but I didn't really find out loads about exactly what's going to be happening, what events they're going to be running. But I'm going to read what it does say on the website, and it's quite intriguing. It says, this unique, colourful and fascination of assortments for your delectation and amusement will include a veritable feast of performers' attractions and the finest traders around, providing temptation to the senses, senses, purse and pocket. There you go, quite a mouthful. You try saying that out loud. Anyway, entry to the event is free and also the car parking is free as well. I would say that you can find out more on their website, but you can't really. They do have a Facebook page, so you're probably best to search for them on that. Their website is whitbyevents.co.uk. Rania, the Robber's Daughter is now on Amazon Prime. Based on the 1981 children's fantasy novel by Swedish author Astrid Lindgren, the TV series is from one of the all-time great anime studios. Studio Ghibli have made 26 episodes for the first series, and they have been dubbed into English from the original Japanese. This is the first time the series has been available outside of Japan, where it aired between October 2014 and March 2015. And the story follows Rania, whose father is a chief of a proud tribe of bandits operating in a fantastic medieval kingdom. Born on a stormy night and growing up to be at one with the forest, she befriends a boy named Burke, or Bick, Burke I think it is, son of the family's rival clan. The story then follows their growing relationship between these two tribes. I'm so looking forward to watching this. In fact, I couldn't wait. I've watched the first 3 episodes. We'll be doing a review of this, so look out for that. I did want to see, there was a film that came out in 1984, I believe, and I couldn't get hold of it at the time I wanted it to watch it, so I'm completely fresh to this, and I do want to also read the book. Hopefully we'll do a review of both of them. As yet, it is exclusive to Amazon, so you'll have to sign up to Amazon Prime if you haven't done so already. Hopefully it'll be coming out on DVD fairly soon. Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman is being adapted for television. Critically acclaimed writer Neil Gaiman is the man adapting the 1990 best-selling book and will premiere on Amazon Prime in 2018. Got a whole year to wait. It's being co-produced with BBC Studios, and the series will be shown on BBC in the UK after it comes out on Amazon. The fantasy comedy follows, again, I don't know how to pronounce this, Azriphael. I guess it's, yeah. Anyway, he's an angel, and Crowley, a devil, and they team up to prevent the apocalypse when the Antichrist is reborn as a child in rural Britain. This adaptation will bring the setting forward to 2018. Just to let you know, Good Omens had been previously adapted for BBC Radio 4 and is available on CD from Amazon. That is great news. I'm really looking forward to that. And you may have already known, if you saw last week's news, that I will be reading all 41 Discworld novels this year. It's my Discworld challenge. Kickstarter news: the Wormwood Magnetic Game Master screen is quite possibly the ultimate role-playing Dungeon Master, Games Master screen you'll ever need. I have not actually seen it in the flesh, obviously I've just seen it on their Kickstarter campaign page, but it does look amazing. It looks very impressive. The screens are all handcrafted by craftspeople at Wormwood, and they've really thought through exactly what a games master will need when running a role-playing game. The concept is that the screen is made up from several components that magnetically connect to each other. This means you can chop and change how you want your screen to look. They have different pledge levels with the different combinations of components. The classic screen has panels that you can have landscape or portrait, and that they clip together, so there's 3, and also they have like little wood bits that you can lift up, and then you put in maps or a sheet of paper basically, that if you want to put any notes on there you can do so. Plus there's an acrylic sheet that covers it, so you can dry wipe over, you can write on it and then wipe it off. And they rotate as well, so if you've got a map and you want to update the map by putting, various things on it, that's what updating means, then you can do so, and then you can flip it back around so the players can see it. There's other components as well. There's a 2-way dice tower, so obviously you can roll for you as DM, or you can tilt it so the dice go out so the players can see. It looks really cool. There's also an initiative tracker, obviously to keep track of the combat, which player and which monsters are in combat, which order they are, and that sits on top of the screen. You just write it on and then you put them on little cards. Really good idea. And there's a chest of holding to keep your extra dice and obviously your little mini figures if you play with those. The screen does look amazing. It's basically a work of art as well as being a functioning work of art. It is kind of expensive, but it is all handcrafted. It does look good value for money. I wish I had that sort of money to buy it and back it myself. Anyway, the campaign has smashed its target, like really smashed its target, and finishes on the 23rd of February. Von Sketchbook Number 2 is a collection of sketches from the artist Tim von Rudin. And this sketchbook follows on from the artist's 2014 sketchbook, and this time he wanted to create a larger collection. This one has over 230 sketches and finished illustrations. The book itself will be 156 pages, 6 by 8 inches in size, perfect bound, and get this, with gold gilded edges. And that itself is a work of art. There are other pledge levels too, with various add-ons such as individual art prints and even enamel badges. And these drawings do look amazing, highly detailed, quality sketches, full of imagination, full of creativity. All these fancy creatures in one place. I love this campaign so much, I did actually back it myself, so I'll be looking forward to receiving my copy. It is already funded and it finishes on the 25th of February. The Growler Chill keeps 3 growlers cold, fresh and on tap at home. Apparently. Now, I'm not sure what growler means in America, but over here in the little UK, it's kind of a slang for, well, I better not say what it is, but for something rude. Anyway, that's not exactly why I'm bringing it to your attention. It's actually a chiller that keeps your craft beer cold and on tap. It's basically like having a pub in your lounge. It's not necessarily anything to do with fantasy, but if you like playing board games and you like having a cold beer, this is brilliant. Obviously, if you like reading fantasy and you drink beer whilst reading, which is a little pastime of mine, then, just to have the pumps there just on your kitchen table looks fantastic. A cold beer to serve. I love that. Anyway, what else am I going to say about that? Yeah, I don't know any of the features because I didn't look at it. I'm not going to back it, but it does look amazing. It does look really cool. And if I had that sort of money, then I probably would back it. Yes, and you can check out the campaign if you do want to find all the features, exactly what it does and how it chills it, etc., etc. It does look great. You can do so on their campaign. It's already funded, so you'll know that you're going to get it if you do back it, and it finishes on the 1st of March. Bottled Imp news. On this week's Friday Fantasy Show, I will be reviewing the 2 to 5 player card game Fairy Tale Gloom, published by Atlantis Games. And hopefully my review will be a bit more coherent than that little section there. It's this Friday, so check it out on our regular Friday Fantasy Show. But that is all we have time for, fellow imps. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe. Check out all of our reviews if you so wish. Remember to spread the word of the Bottled Imp. Go visit our Facebook page. Like it if you dare. But that's all we have time for, so remember to keep it unreal, especially if you're a fellow imp.